the gold coin that changed her life. But they came for her. She saw a gold coin on the road, and that's when her life changed forever. This is the story of Lina. It was just past midnight. The street was empty. No cars, no voices, just the faint hum of a flickering streetlight cutting through the darkness. Lina was walking home late, her footsteps echoing against the cracked pavement. The wind whispered softly, carrying the scent of rain and dust. The silence felt heavy, almost watchful. Then she saw it, a flicker of gold glinting in the puddle-streaked road. She slowed. The coin wasn't just lying there. It was glowing. A single, perfectly round gold coin resting in the dirt as if it had been carefully placed. As if it had been waiting for her. The edges shimmered unnaturally beneath the streetlight. Hypnotic. Almost alive. She should have kept walking. She should have ignored it. But some things don't appear by accident. And some gifts are never really free. Her heart began to pound. A strange tightness gripped her chest, a warning she couldn't explain. Then a voice, soft and urgent, echoed inside her mind. Return it. You don't know its cost. Lina swallowed and shook her head. Just imagination. Just nerves. Slowly, she bent down. The air around the coin felt charged, like invisible electricity humming beneath her skin. The moment her fingers touched the gold, a tingling warmth shot up her arm. For a split second, the world paused. The wind stopped. The streetlight flickered. The shadows stretched longer than they should have. Then everything returned to normal. Breathing unsteadily, she slid the coin into her pocket. The warmth lingered. A chill ran down her spine. Something had changed. She didn't know what, but as she walked away from that deserted street, she felt it, the first quiet stirring of a power she could not yet understand, and a debt she had not yet realized she owed. That night, Lina drifted into an uneasy sleep, the weight of the coin heavy in her pocket even in her dreams. She found herself standing in her bedroom, but something was wrong. The walls seemed farther apart, the shadows thicker, stretching where they shouldn't. The air felt cold, unnaturally cold. Then she saw it. A shadowy figure stood at the foot of her bed, tall and unmoving. Its body looked like smoke held together by darkness. Where its face should have been were two hollow eyes, empty and endless, staring straight through her. Lina tried to scream, but no sound came out. The figure leaned closer, the room filled with a dry, whispering sound, like leaves scraping across stone. Return the coin, or pay the price. The words didn't just reach her ears, they pressed into her chest. Heavy and suffocating, the shadows on the walls twisted and crept toward her, wrapping around the bed like grasping hands. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst. Suddenly, she gasped and jolted awake. Her room was dark and silent. No shadows, no figure, just her own ragged breathing and the frantic beating of her heart. She sat up, wiping cold sweat from her forehead, trying to calm herself. It's just a dream, she whispered, forcing a nervous laugh. Just a dream. But as she lay back down, she noticed something that made her smile fade. From inside her pocket, beneath the pillow, the coin was still warm. The next morning, Lina woke to a strange brightness in her room. At first, she thought the sun was shining unusually strong, but when she opened her eyes fully, her breath caught in her throat. Her bedroom was glowing. She sat up slowly. The single gold coin she had slipped under her pillow was no longer small. It had multiplied. Dozens of identical coins were scattered across her bed, on her desk, on the floor. They shimmered like liquid sunlight. And in the corner of her room, stacks of gold bars, perfectly arranged, polished, untouched by dust. Her hands trembled as she reached for her phone. A notification blinked. Credit alert. Then another, and another. Her bank balance wasn't just higher, it was unreal. Millions. More money than she could have earned in 10 lifetimes. No sender name, no transaction history, just numbers growing. Her heart pounded between excitement and disbelief. This isn't real, she whispered. But it was. When she stepped outside, the world felt different. In her driveway sat a sleek black luxury, car engine humming softly as if it had been waiting all night. The keys were already inside. Her phone buzzed again. Private invitations, exclusive galas, VIP memberships, messages from brands offering partnerships, calls from numbers she didn't recognize. all suddenly eager to work with her. Within hours, her tiny apartment transformed. Designers arrived, though she hadn't called them. Furniture was replaced, walls repainted, wardrobe filled with clothes that fit her perfectly, as if someone had studied her taste. It was effortless, too effortless. By evening, Lina stood in front of her mirror, dressed in silk and diamonds she hadn't bought, staring at a version of herself she barely recognized. Her life was perfect, or so it seemed, because when she glanced at her bedside table, she noticed something strange. The gold coins were still multiplying, and they were warmer than before. That night, Lina tossed and turned in her bed, restless. The golden glow of the coin she had hidden under her pillow seemed to pulse, faintly, as if alive. Then she felt a cold pressure in the room, heavier than air, settling around her like a thick fog. She opened her eyes. The shadow was there, taller this time, wider. But it wasn't alone. Dozens of faint, darker shapes flickered at the edges of her vision, moving like smoke in the corners of the room. Soft whispers filled the air, barely audible at first, then louder, urgent, almost human. Every night, someone comes to collect. Lina froze, unable to move. Her pulse raced. Her room seemed to shrink, walls closing in, shadows crawling along the floor. The phone buzzed beside her. She picked it up, and her heart skipped. One by one, her closest friends' names appeared on the screen. Missing, unreachable, gone. Outside her apartment window, the streets were alive with misfortune. Accidents flashed, cars skidding into walls, streetlights exploding in a spark of fire, neighbors screaming as chaos unfolded. But when she looked again, the streets were empty, as if it had never happened. Then the walls of her own room, they changed. Strange marks appeared, etched into plaster and paint, lines twisting like veins, glowing faintly in the coin's reflection, shapes of faces screaming silently, almost pleading. Her stomach turned cold. The coin wasn't just wealth, it was a doorway, a tether between her and something older, darker, more relentless than she could imagine. No matter what she tried, ignoring it, hiding it, leaving the room, the shadows followed. Whispers seeped from every corner. The message was clear. Every night, someone would come to collect, and she had no choice but to wait. For the first time, Lina realized the fortune she had dreamed of didn't belong to her alone, and the price was already due. Lina tried everything. She shoved the gold coins into boxes, buried them in the backyard, even smashed some with a hammer. She hid them under floorboards and closets, in deep drawers. Every attempt failed. The coins always reappeared, gleaming innocently in her bedroom, mocking her. The shadows grew bolder. They no longer lurked in corners, they crowded her doorway, slithered along the walls, and hovered over her bed. Whispers now screamed in her ears, urgent and human, yet not human. Every night, someone comes to collect. Every night, someone comes to collect. Her neighbors began disappearing. Friends she had celebrated her fortune with were gone, leaving behind only silence and the faint scent of smoke. Panic gnawed at her chest. She realized she could not escape. The coin had chosen her, and it had a debt to collect. One night, the air in her apartment grew heavy, almost suffocating. Shadows coalesced into tall, faceless figures cloaked in black, each reaching for the gold that had cost her everything. The largest one stepped forward, its hollow eyes burning into her very soul. "You ignored the warning," they whispered, voices like wind through dry, brittle leaves. Lina fell to her knees, tears streaming, begging. She clawed at the coins, trying to shove them away, trying to destroy them, but the shadows, hands passed through the gold as if it were smoke. It was too late. The room spun around her. Her screams were swallowed by darkness. The largest collector leaned closer, reaching past her trembling hands. She felt a cold, unbearable pressure, like the weight of centuries pressing down on her chest. And then silence. When the sun rose the next morning, Lina was gone. Her bed was empty. The gold coins lay scattered on the floor, warm and glowing, untouched. The shadows had receded for now. Her neighbors whispered that she had vanished without a trace. Some claimed they could still see her reflected in mirrors, staring with hollow eyes, as if trapped somewhere between life and the debt she never paid. Wealth gained without conscience, she realized too late, carries a price that is sometimes more than life itself.
Thank you for watching Zane TV. Please like, share and subscribe. More powerful African stories are coming your way.